Hello and welcome to this video. If you haven't already figured it out, this is a re-upload, but it's a re-upload with commentary. Now get into this quick little shot here, this one of a balloon. It's a very abstract shot with the shadow and the balloon. I wasn't sure if I liked it in black and white or color, so I added both. Now if you're wondering why I'm doing this, I'm doing it because I usually don't give a lot of context to what I'm looking for and whether I think a shot is actually good or not, even though I've posted it in the video. Now this shot coming up could be a little bit better. I really like the expression on the gentleman, but I wish the balloon was just a touch higher. Maybe it was sort of eye level or face level with the gentleman there. Would have made for a slightly better photo. And if you're wondering what's going on, this is the Mayday holiday of Finland in 2024. Mayday might also be known as Labor Day in your country. And here in Finland it is known as Vappu. Now these two shots here is something I've actually tried before. And they're holding hands. I get a nice little silhouette of the shadows there. It's just a way of making a little bit more interesting when you're photographing behind people's backs. You know, that gets really overused. It's not so interesting. And it's just a little way to make things a little more creative. But at the end of the day, I've just gotten out of the house and I'm just looking to make a few quick photos. Now, one of the issues of just getting out of the house is I tend to find that I don't get close enough for the first hour or two. I like the boots in this photo, and I like the shadow on the bottom left, but essentially I could have gotten a whole lot closer, and I just ended up leaving myself with a nothing photo. I'm seeing a whole lot of nice colors, that orange and yellow really appearing in that shot, which is why I tucked it in, but I remember on the day I did try for a photo, and it really ended up nothing, so I didn't put it in. These two ladies here passed by, shot from the hip. I like the here style, going pretty wild on the right-hand side, that character there. Two cool looking ladies, not the greatest photo. I think it kind of came out of nowhere, so I just shot it from the hip and didn't get a great angle on it. However, here's a good example of shooting from the hip when things go good. Two striped dogs there with the striped socks. Looking pretty cool. I like the composition. Nice shot. So you'll notice a whole bunch of people selling balloons here too. This is one of the few days that Finland really gets festive. There's a whole bunch of people selling these helium balloons all over. This shot right here could be a whole bunch better if I just took a couple of steps to the left and had that lady there in the center, a little more centered and maybe not so blocked out by the balloons. Here I am, taking a quick chill session because we all need to do that when we're walking around the city all day. I remember this is a very hot day and I think I took a moment to rest and I managed to just snap this one while I was sitting there. And there I am, just having a good old chimp. Coming up here, I was trying to see what this framing could give me on this old bus stop here. It's a really cool bus stop, and this gentleman that I ran into here ended up giving me a little bit of a history lesson on the artist who designed it, which was super nice. And as I kind of pop up in the video here, this is one of the main reasons why I love street photography, because it really puts me into contact with people. It's the thing that actually gives me the most memories when I'm out shooting. It's not the photos, it's these interactions that I have with people. And often I don't even get a photo with the person or out of that scenario, but those are the things that I remember constantly. So very grateful for that gentleman right there who stopped by and had a quick chat. This next one coming up right here, this is just a very quick and easy one. Red and red, people love red. In my opinion, it's very boring, and I was too far away, I was too far behind, nothing interesting in that photo. However, I do remember for this video, I had just kind of taken a bit of a hiatus and I was back on the street for the first time in a while. This one here, I like the black and white. I like the black and white kitten balloons that are hanging up. It's actually a cat cafe, so it really ties in pretty nice. And then the two kids there trying to take a peek through the window. Here's another dog shot, because why not? It was an easy one. Try to just shoot for it and hope for the best in this case. Certainly not the most compelling photo, but we would take what we can get. This next one coming up right here is just another example of you'll never hit if you don't swing, so I swung for it. Not very interesting, could be a whole lot cooler, but it's just one of those ones I knew probably wouldn't work, but you shoot for it anyways. Now coming up here is one of my favorite cafes to always take a peek in the window. There tends to be some interesting characters through this window quite often, and I managed to snap one here. Got some nice flowers in the window and perfectly framing a face. I'm not super keen on the scaffolding that was there, but it does add a little bit of a color with that sort of construction tape, that pink and white tape that's there. So I'll take it. And here I do something that I usually don't do too often, is basically just sit down for a little bit and wait in the spot for a shot. As I say, I was sort of coming back off a bit of a hiatus and my nerves were up about shooting street photography. Maybe I wasn't completely in the zone. I get this shot is completely uninteresting. It's not the style of street photography that I like at all. But again, when you're coming back out on the street, you kind of just want to get back into the flow of things. You take what you can get, and you sort of sit within your comfort zone. And it's a whole lot better to be out shooting street photography than not shooting at all if you're nervous. This one right here, it could be a whole lot better. I think I was a bit nervous about photographing a kid, and I didn't get the shots that I really should have got out of it. His walk coming up to me is hilarious, and definitely could have got a better shot, including the same as this one here. It just wasn't as exciting as what I hoped it could be. It could have gotten lower maybe to get more of the balloons, or maybe I was just a little bit unlucky that the balloons weren't sticking up as much as they could be. And I would kind of say the same goes for this shot here. The framing just wasn't that interesting. I was almost too close in that shot to kind of give it any context really, and it's something that I feel like could have been a bit wider. Maybe I also should have gone for the landscape position there. Now the shot coming up right here is just a classic one, shoot it from the hip, hope to get a nice angle. I kind of like it. I like the shadow that's there in the window. I like that it works well in black and white. Could it have been a slightly better angle? Most definitely. But those kind of shots that have a little more movement in them, they're definitely more appealing to me as a photographer. This one here again, it's just an easy one. Grab it while you can. Definitely too busy of a shot. Definitely wasn't in front of the subject as much as I probably should have been, and could have even been a lot closer in that case also. As you can see, there's a lot of people out, and sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing. In this case, in the festivities, it's not the most inspiring thing to me, because I feel like it's a little bit like shooting at a flea market or something like that. It just doesn't feel as natural as it could on a certain day. And again, it really depends on your mood for the day. There can be times where you're really going out to shoot a particular style of street photography. On this day, I completely remember going out solely because I knew that people would be on the street, and that, you know, being familiar with this holiday, seeing what people wear. It's a lot of student overalls that you might see with all the patches sewed all over them, and these white hats, and that look is just not that inspiring to me. There's a lot of families out and all these kind of things. It can be nice. There are nice things to see, like this moment right here. And in Helsinki on a regular day, there is about 800% less people on the street than this day. So some days you take what you can get, and this day was definitely one of those days. As you can see, I'm still really photographing behind people a lot. I think of the shot coming up here with this interaction that's going on, I really start to get a little bit tired of myself shooting from behind people too often, and I managed to snap this moment, which I think is one of the better photos of the day. I got a little bit more of a composed photo, and of course it was from eye level. That helped me, you know, get a better photo out of it. And this one here too, I like the interaction. I don't love that the hand was over the lady's face in that scenario, and now that the hand is down, it doesn't make for as great of a shot. So I kind of just missed a little bit of the moment there. This is the kind of shot I'll probably take every time, but probably shouldn't. I mean, it's not going to be that interesting of a photo. There's just that small chance that it is going to kind of end up funny for some reason. So I'll snap it anyways and just hope for the best. This shot also coming up, I think, turns out quite nice. I do like the colors that are in this photo, which is not something that I'm always aiming for. But on this day, this sunny day, and these Vappu, this Mayday, this Labor Day, is usually one of the first sunny days of the year, since it kind of marks the start of spring for Finland after a very long winter. This one here also too, I like the overcoats kind of matching, the hair matching. I actually really like that little rainbow refraction that comes in through the lens there, adding a touch of color. I think it kind of ties the image together. Again, it's a shot from behind people, not that interesting, but I'll take it. Here I am basically just scouting these tables, looking for characters. I managed to catch a little bit of eye contact from this gentleman right here. I like the hand position. I don't love what's going on in the background, but it could have been a whole lot better. And here again, I'm starting to shoot up a little bit closer on the day. Not getting anything too special there, but definitely just pushing myself, and you can see the progression from the start of the day maybe into a little bit later, and that's just something that you should always try to be doing. Just pushing yourself and hoping to get something a lot nicer. Here we are again. Seems to be a little bit of the theme for the day, which is hoping for the best on a lot of these photos. Taking photos that you should take every time, but not exactly ending up with the best results. This one here too, I like the colors that are going on the photo. I like the angle that I got to there. I think the photo is well composed. There's a couple of elements like that car there on the right and the gentleman on the left, which I would prefer to not be there. But again, this is street photography and not all things go the way that we want. This one here is another classic photo you see a lot, although I did try to get in really tight for this one. I like the red on red colors in this case, and I think in this case this is an image that benefits from being in color, which for me is not a common thing that I come across. Now here coming up is the one photo that I think it was actually genuinely good from the day. I did hide a little bit around the corner, but at the same time, I think I got myself into a good position to be able to snap this photo, and that's far more important than getting too close and bothering the people and not being able to get the shot that you want. I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary. Let me know what I can do better for the next one. And I also want to talk about this final photo right here. This could have absolutely been the best photo of the day by far. I still think it's very good. You can see the smiley face and the poop face covering the gentleman's face, which I think is just really cool. It's probably one of the only photos that was juxtaposed in a way that actually ended up kind of funny. One of those ones that I shot and I didn't hope for the best once again, but I knew what I was going for. It almost turned out perfect. I think that the car on the bottom left and whatever that is, a skip bin or a truck that's on the right, giving it the red color there, the pink color, is the only thing that's really throwing me off from this. If the gentleman was a little bit more singled out and just solo in that picture there, then this would have been a photo I was very happy with. But, you know, nothing's ever perfect, and the only thing we can do is go out and try for it.